Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back. I hope that you are all well. This is where I talk about the books that I'm reading. I like to read diverse books and I highlight Canadian literature. If you are new, thanks so much for checking out my channel. Please hit subscribe and stick around. Today I'm going to be doing something which I think is fun. I'm going to be talking about literary one-hit wonders. So these are authors who have published one very successful book and either never published anything else or we are still waiting for a new book from them. So I'm going to share a couple of my favorite literary one-hit wonders, a couple of one-hit wonders that I really want to read, and I'm also going to share two authors who I have been waiting for them to publish a second book for a while. And while preparing for this video, I was very pleasantly surprised that they both have a second book that has either already come out quite recently or it is going to be coming out soon. I am very excited about it. And finally, I am going to share 5 other authors that I'm still waiting for them to publish something else. So my first favorite one-hit wonder that I've read is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Now, this was first published in 1963, just a month before Plath died. And on its own, this is not my favorite book or anything like that. But Sylvia Plath, who is known mostly for her poetry, was writing at a time when women's writing wasn't taken as seriously as men. And I think a lot of her talent went unnoticed. And I think that if she had more time with us and had written more novels, I think we would have seen greater things from her. This book, although it's a novel, has a lot of biographical information, and I think there's a lot more to it than you might see at first glance. The second one-hit wonder, which I really enjoyed, is the Pulitzer Prize winning novel Gone with the Wind. This is by Margaret Mitchell. And this was published in 1936, and Mitchell lived until 1949. She did die young at the age of 48. And part of my enjoyment with this book was that I read it as a buddy read with 2 of my subscribers and friends, Christine and Karen. We had so much fun with this. I had no idea what this book was about going into it, and I ended up loving it. It's quite an epic and sweeping novel with memorable characters that I think for a debut is quite impressive. So there are 2 books on my TBR that I still hope to read. First is Black Beauty by Anna Sewell, or Sewell, I'm not sure how she says her name. This was published in 1877, the year before she died at the age of 58. And Black Beauty was meant for adults, but has become a children's classic, somewhere along the way. And I honestly don't know what this book is about. Like, I can guess that it's about a horse, but I have never seen a movie or anything like that. I really don't know anything about it, so I still need to read the book. Another one-hit wonder on my TBR is The Picture of Dorian Gray. This, of course, is by Oscar Wilde. And this was published in 1890, and Oscar Wilde was 36, and he died 10 years later. So again, I don't know much about this book. I do know that people love it, and I remember at one point when I was thinking about picking it up, that it did have some themes that I was interested in, so one day. So these authors will always remain one-hit wonders. But, okay, I don't know if I am the only one who does this, but after, when I read a debut novel and I really, really like it, I can see potential in the writer, I watch for when that author will publish something again. And there are several authors, that I like to follow their work. And there are 2 authors that I have been waiting for a second novel from them for a while now. And the good news is that it's finally happening, and they will no longer be one-hit wonders. And one of them is David Wroblewski, who published the story of Edgar Sawtelle in 2008. This is a story that really captures your heart, and then it completely crushes it. It's a coming-of-age story about Edgar, who is a young boy. He's mute, and he loves dogs. He trains dogs. And the story follows events in his life while he is training dogs, and how he and the dogs learn to live in the wild. It's quite a tragic story, really, but really, really good. And it's been 16 years since this book came out, and this year David Wroblewski published Familiaris, which I believe came out in June, and it's the origin story of the Sawtelle family and the Sawtelle dogs. So I am hoping that the 16 years has been worth the wait. I am still waiting for the paperback to come out before I pick it up, but this is very exciting, and I really look forward to reading the next book. Okay, so this next book I've talked about so many times on my channel, and I've talked about it like as a hidden gem and a book that I don't think enough people have talked about. And it's one of those books that I picked up very randomly on a whim, and then I ended up loving it. And I'm talking about Midnight at the Bright Ideas bookstore. And this is by Matthew Sullivan. And this was published in 2017. So I've only been waiting 7 years for, something else from this author. And this is a thriller, and I found it to be just that. It is thrilling. Not only does it take place in a bookstore, hello, but the characters are quirky and lovable. It's sad, but it's heart-wrenching. But ever since I read this, I have wanted to read more by Matthew Sullivan. And guess what? The wait is almost over. Midnight in Soap Lake is coming out in 2025. And the blurb says that this is a standalone novel, but that it is the second book in the Midnight cycle. So these books are all thematically, the same, thematically themed, I guess. It's set in a weird lake town, which is fictionalized and inspired by Soap Lake, Washington. Plus, and this is even more exciting, there is already a third book in the works. So I am very excited about this, and Midnight in Soap Lake is already one of my most anticipated books of 2025. So now these next 5 books, all of them so far one-hit wonders. But all of these authors are still alive. So it's still possible that we might see, something else from them. I'm really hoping. Because when they do publish that next book, I am here for it. So from 2020, I have When We Were Vikings by Andrew David MacDonald. Now, 4 years ago, that's not too bad. So we might see something soon from this author. And I would love it, because When We Were Vikings had so many things that I love in books. It had quirky and endearing characters. It felt real. It was sad. It was funny. And it was just a good read. So fingers crossed we will see more from Andrew David MacDonald sometime soon. Maybe even more from the main character, because Zelda, she's a character who has stayed with me for sure. From 2017, I have Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Another quirky and endearing character that I adored. I thought this book was so heartwarming, but also like When We Were Vikings, it had some more serious themes as well. I loved the friendship in this book. It was so good. There was just so much love for this book. And, it's been 7 years. So if anyone knows where Gail Honeyman is, give her a nudge and let her know that I am anxiously anticipating another book. The next one. This is the next one-hit wonder, and it is a nonfiction. It's The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot. So this was published in 2010, and it is a phenomenal book about the HeLa cells that were taken from Henrietta Lacks without her knowledge. And we still use these cells today, and the way that this book was written was so compelling, and I'd love to read more by Rebecca Skloot. Like 14 years. Still waiting. Still waiting. Now, this next book is from 2009, and like The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, it was made it made a splash on the scene. And then, like The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, a film was also made out of it. And it's The Help by Kathryn Stockett. And I mean, if you read this book, or seen the movie for that matter, and you don't think about this story every time you have chocolate cream pie, then you need to read the book. The alternate voices in this, I thought, was a brilliant way to tell this story. And after The Help, Kathryn Stockett vanished. And I have been, again, patiently waiting for another book, by her. So here we are. The final one-hit wonder on my list is from 1997. This was also made into a film, but the book is so much better. And I'm talking about Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. I devoured this book. It allowed me to enter into a world that I had never been in or had thought anything about. I saw things in a new way. I thought about women and my life as a woman in a new way. Also, Arthur Golden is one of 3 male authors, in my opinion, who has been able to capture the female mind in such a powerful way. And here we are, 27 years later, and still no more books from Arthur Golden. Now, I do know that there was a lawsuit with one of the geishas that Arthur Golden had supposedly breached their contract when he interviewed her and he gave away her identity in some way. So I'm sure that that was a difficult thing for him to go through, but I really hope that it isn't why he hasn't published anything else in so long. So these are some literary one-hit wonders that I've enjoyed, that I'm hoping to read, and some that I'm hoping, won't stay one-hit wonders any longer. So please let me know, have you read any of these one-hit wonders? What are some of your one-hit wonders that, are on your list? Or if there are authors that you've been waiting for their next novel for a long time. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.